Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 85 of the 72 review. Welcome to this show. We've got all three of us back on. We've got Championship, League One, and League Two action to go through from this weekend. So we will start going around the screen. We'll start in League One. Ian, let people know who you are, what you do, and why you do it if they've not seen you before.
Well, League One for now, actually, Dan. Yeah, for the moment. I'm Ian. I'm a 62-year-old Rotherham United season ticket holder who's having the most horrible of seasons at the moment, and I'm keeping this banner up until it happens.
He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
He's a very, very naughty boy. But when the Millers are away, I'm up and down the country vlogging for my own YouTube channel at Old Man Out Ground Hopping, which I think Dan puts in the description.
He does.
I do indeed. And next to me, we've got Jake. Introduce yourself, let people know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, mate.
Firstly, I'm awake this weekend because last weekend I fell asleep there, and it wasn't until the end of the show I realised that I've overslept. Don't buy an electric blanket; they make you go to sleep. I am Puncture 41, aka Jake. I cover all things Sheffield Wednesday. Transfer window is normally my busy season, but I cover everything Wednesday. I also help co-host a podcast called the Talking Wednesday podcast, and we talk all things Wednesday. And I'm just wanting a goal scorer. Anyone know any?
We're struggling for one of those as well, but we'll get onto that later on in the show. If you don't know me already, I'm 18 Dapper, do stuff for Doncaster Rovers, covering the club that I love, and it's ultimately what all of us do. We just enjoy creating content, and hopefully you guys enjoy watching it. If you are new to this, we go through all three divisions, and we'll have a look at main bits to talk about, and obviously if your club's played, get your comments in the chat, and it does drive conversation as well. So it's normally pretty lively in the chat. I think we will start in League One today. We'll get the rant out of the way, Ian.
I'm ready.
You're ready, but I don't know if we are. Crawley Town 1, Rotherham 0. What is happening at Rotherham?
Well, to be quite honest, I mean, obviously it's not ideal, but the anger that I feel of Steve Evans and his tactics and the players that we've brought in the summer has turned to apathy now. Because really, I mean, if the players don't care, why should I? Well, I should, because I'm a fan, and I do. But this was abject. This was appalling. I bought a Now TV one day past just for this, and God, I want my money back. Crawley deserved to win. Crawley aren't a good side, but they're better than us, basically. We've got illness in the camp, so we got 2 or 3 players that are normally in the first team that didn't show yesterday. I'm going to take that with a pinch of salt, because he's falling out with players. He's lost the dressing room. That bit is absolutely obvious. The players he did put in the side. I mean, he was exactly right in his post-match press conference when he said 5 or 6 of them were just going through the motions. I think they're just getting the wages, and I don't think they care at all. Patterns of play, they just aren't there. He bypasses midfield. Johnson Clark Harris has got to sort of like have a next brace to see when the next ball's coming from. Crawley, at times neat and tidy in possession. The actual goal came through some idiotic defending by Cameron Humphreys, who didn't realise that a player was going in front of him when there were a nothing ball coming from the right-hand side. He just stood, and the Will Swan, ex-Mansfield, just got in front of him, finished easily. He keeps on about opportunities. Clark Harris had an opportunity. Keeper saved it, comfortable save. We had another couple of, that sailed over the bar and whatnot. And in the last few minutes, substitute Kieran McGukin, he looked like he was going to get onto a ball from the left, but he just ducked under the ball, expecting Clark Harris to get it. But if he'd have connected with his head, he would have probably scored. But this is just getting every week now. I mean, give him time, give him another transfer window. No. His tactics are abhorrent. His actual press conferences are a joke. It's not working. The players he's brought in the summer, some of them with quite glowing reputations, just haven't performed at all. That's if that we get players that are injured, that are out for 4 or 5 weeks. I question that. I just question it. I question the whole lot. The home games, the terraces. It's getting more and more toxic every single week. As next home league game is Lincoln, and I'm absolutely dreading that because Lincoln are a good football team. They could tear us a new one. I don't know how long Tony Stewart's going to put up with this, but he did give Evans and Rayner a 3-year contract, which frightens me. I think he might just thinking I can't afford to sack him. And if that is the case, I'll probably be going to Newport next season with one of our subscribers because there's only one way I can see it, and that's League Two. And it is that serious.
Yeah, it's not looking good, mate, is it? I mean, I thought the ball for Crawley's goal was a decent one. He's found the gap, hasn't he? But he's been given.
He has, but having said that,
he's been given time and space to pick that pass
24.
out.
Why has he been given that much time to do it? That's what you're questioning. Where
Yeah.
is the urgency to
And
go
also-
stop him?
Also, Humphreys were in the area to stop that sort of ball. Well, not stop the ball coming in, deal with the ball, and he just stood there. Well, no, it was bad.
Yeah, I caught bits on Radio Sheffield. I were out and about yesterday, doing a few Christmas bits and bobs, and yeah, it didn't sound good.
And I will say that post-match interview was childish. It was a very typical Evans blaming everyone else but himself.
Yeah, and I don't like it with the way he throws individual players under the bus and actually names them.
He names them, doesn't he? He puts he puts X, Y, Z, the player that's done it. Like, that can't do anything good. And he's going about like giving in another transfer window. What to say there's not going to be a load of players going into January going, I want out.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't.
If he's still here in January, he is going to farm a lot of the squad out on loan because he doesn't like them. He's going to bring a load more players in and hope something sticks.
The rumours at Stevenage, when he was there, he peed off a lot of players. It all came out like after he left that he really upset a lot of people. And it just seemed like he's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
He's a dinosaur of a manager whose tactics are 10 to 15 years out of date, in my opinion.
So, not a good weekend for yourself on that one then. Have you got midweek game? Or is it just Championship that are midweek?
No, we've not got midweek. There is a few League One, League Two games, but I think they're on catch-up.
Yeah.
Well, they catch up for the ones they missed at the weekend.
International breaks,
yeah.
So your next game is Lincoln.
We don't play again until a week on Tuesday because we got knocked out the FA Cup. So we don't play again. Yeah, so we don't play until I think it's the 3rd, 2nd of December. We're at home to Lincoln City.
Right, so what becomes the excuse if he don't do well? Because he's had a week and a bit worth of training.
Well, we did before yesterday. We had nearly a fortnight off before yesterday. So what the hell are you doing on the training grounds beyond me?
Yeah.
No ball fights.
Yeah, clearly not what they need to be doing. So your next game is Lincoln, and they'll be looking to put a wrong right in that one. I'm not sure if Lincoln have got a game in between this and the game against Rotherham, but a very good win for Wycombe, who were firing on all cylinders at the minute in League One.
Wycombe are just stupidly good this season. I don't think any of us saw this coming this season.
No,
like Matt Bloomfield is doing he's done wonders, hasn't he? And you go into this game, you actually think Lincoln look like the team that's probably going to do well. They're at home. They've done really well so far this season, but Wycombe have just got going. They took leads, and it was good to see them get it early door, but it just seems like Wickham slowly bullied their way into just doing what they've been doing to most teams this season, where the moment they find that little weakness, they exploit it.
This is definitely not a Gareth Ainsworth Wickham side who used to bore and bully teams into submission. This is a Wickham team that plays football and plays good football.
Play nice football.
I mean,
really nice football. And this game would have been a dream for the neutral, I would have thought.
Yeah,
just look at the 30 shots.
Sue was in the chat. She said, "Evening, gents. Feels for you, Ian." She watches Steve Evans post-match interviews to cheer her up when we lose. And then she said that she can't wait for our visit. We've got Wrexham Tuesday, Crawley Saturday away. We were much better, but Wickham faster to everything. And their second team goal was sublime. So yeah, fair enough with that one. I think when fans can kind of hold their hands up and say that something's really good, I think that's credit
when
to you.
When you look at the teams that have come up and the teams that have come down, especially with your Wrexham, your Birminghams, and then Stockport and stuff, Wickham to be doing what they're doing is actually quite incredible when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because of the little bit of money that's there.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't got a big budget. They haven't got a massive fan base. All they've got is they've got a good team that play together. No real stars in it.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
exactly that. And you mentioned Gareth Ainsworth, Wickham, and no longer the Gareth Ainsworth team that we remember. Shrewsbury,
what a result!
But it was a very Gareth Ainsworth sort of performance, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you look. 20% possession, 7 shots, 4 on target, 3 of those find the back of the net. John Marquis was one of them. And there was the one goal where it's just an absolute calamity. I'm not sure if it was the 3rd goal, if I remember rightly. It's a smash and grab ultimately, isn't it? And Birmingham will have gone to this one. Shrewsbury struggling towards the bottom end of the league, but you never know. New manager comes in and they always get that bounce, and Gareth Ainsworth is a decent manager at this level, and it makes teams very difficult to beat, doesn't he? So I think he's starting to...
I think you can say, I don't want to say early door, but I think you could probably say with a little bit of confidence they'll stay up now, Shrewsbury.
I think so, yeah.
Well,
I think you're not far wrong.
I think they'll struggle to stay up, but at least putting Ainsworth in's giving them a chance.
The thing is, they've got a January window. The January window could be crucial for them.
Yeah. And also, he's created a siege mentality after one game.
What did he do? Bring the people in doing the hacker again, like he did at QPR?
Who knows?
If it works.
That was an incredible result.
Yeah, certainly a coupon buster this weekend. Yeah. A game that wasn't. In fact, Ian, is there any other League One games that you wanted to touch on, mate? We've got.
Yeah. Hats off to Matt Taylor and Bristol Rovers. What a result that were, winning away at Mansfield.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. That was one shot on target and it were a goal. That's how to do it.
You take that all day long.
I mean, Bristol Rovers have been sort of like treading water a bit, possibly struggling a little bit. But that was a fantastic result from that.
I'm pretty sure Bristol Rovers have just had their old ownership sold all these shares. I could be wrong. I think they've been slowly getting shares out to a new person to run it. I remember Charlie putting something up about it.
Oh, Charlie Payne,
just saying how he wanted to just thank them for what they've done and put them in that position. So a good result, and I think if you can have the situation where you just get one chance and you can take it, more power to you.
Yeah,
that's just a fantastic away performance, isn't it? Obviously defended well. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, defended well. Took the chance when it came. Lovely stuff. 100%. Jake, any more games that tickle your fancy, mate?
Reading doing the business over Peterborough. They're really starting. Reading are just slowly becoming that team that are just in and around it, and they're just being underdogs again. And it seems like it's something
It suits them.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
they like being this. Well, no one wants to see us do well, so we're going to do it anyway, and they just keep doing it. 2 very good, well taken goals as well. He's just good at this level, isn't he? So let's just say what it is. You know where back in net is, and I think Peterborough, they're on that weird thing. If they don't get a good January window, and they've got a lot of players, I think it's 2 or 3 star players who are out of contract in the summer.
Yeah.
And I'll be interested to see how many people try and tempt them to go have this, because unless you're getting a new contract in him, you need to get that money now. And Peterborough are very good at that. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd argue that Peterborough are underachieving at the minute.
Yeah.
Or have been over the last couple of seasons. I know they've got playoffs and stuff, and obviously big one was back when they played Wednesday and pretty much had it wrapped up in the first leg, and then you boys did the unthinkable.
We needed drug testing, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah. But there was always that kind of that feeling that taking it back to Hillsborough, anything could happen on the night, and it did. But since then, it seems to have just absolutely not been, wasn't it?
One thing you won't get for a Peterborough game is a boring one.
No,
there's always goals.
Good. Yeah.
There's always chances at either end.
There's always a controversy, like a red card or yellow card as well. They play on that. They play on that line sometimes, and it suits them. But my issue is
Darren Ferguson, though, isn't it, Dan? That's
this is my issue. At what point do him and the owner then split again? Because they seem to have this thing where you go back, does well for a bit, goes again, and then Peterborough not there.
Yeah.
Well, they can keep them dirty mitts off of Grant McCann again.
I don't think Grant would try doing that again.
A couple of other good results in League One yesterday. Huddersfield beating Charlton 2-1, getting them back on track. Wrexham putting Exeter to the sword, 3-0. Comfortable winners. Had it
Ollie
pretty much wrapped up in 25 minutes.
Just shows you. I mean, Ollie Rathbone's a good player. Put him in a good team, he'll shine.
Yeah.
And Wrexham are a good side. Good luck to lad. He's a cracking lad as well as a good player. Yeah. I think he's done right. I think he probably smelt which way the wind was blowing under Evans and thought, I want out of here. So, well done. Yeah. But, good result.
We questioned if Wrexham had enough to compete at this level, and I think they're showing first.
The only 15, issue Wrexham got...
The trading blows, aren't they?
The only issue Wrexham got, and it's a big one, they've got a very aging squad.
Yeah.
So if they do that next step,
a little bit like Derby were last season, a very aging squad. They got over the line, but they had an aging squad, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And another good result in League One. Louis Barry. What a player!
Can someone just like
what a player?
If Stockport don't go up and they don't try and sign him from Villa, they're missing a trick.
Yeah, I think he'll be in the Championship next season. With Stockport or somebody else. He's far too good for League One.
What a player!
I think for me, I see it similar to what Matty Craig was for us last year. Far too good for League Two. In the job, in the role within the team that he did, and he's playing at League One now. I think the same for Louis Barry. He won't be a League One player next season, but I don't think Villa. Well, I think Villa would be daft to let him go because he's developing at a rate of knots, isn't he?
I think the only thing you got
yesterday was sublime. That second goal.
I
think the only thing you got with Villa is they do have that money to go get like a world star and not nurture one of the out the academy kind of thing, which you kind of want, but it sometimes don't work that way, does it?
Yeah. Burton is in the chat. I think our owners are waiting for the January window before we get a new manager.
They can have ours.
Question. Yeah. He's quite happy to pass you Steve Evans. Surely it'd be better to get a new manager in now to assess the squad ready for January. I
You've only
I find
got
it bizarre that you'd want to
2 to
change
3
a manager
weeks.
in January, because then you've not got the opportunity to see the players that you've got, see what you're working with, and look at what's available to bring in. So I'd be surprised to see if the questions are on the manager at the minute. If Burton would wait that long, surely you'd want them in sooner so that they can make that improvement in January.
You know what'll
Yeah.
happen? They'll get it in on last day of transfer window.
Oh, Burton doesn't want Steve Evans, and it looks like the manager is sticking around. Possibly, we will see. But yeah, they've come up against a very good Stockport team, and it didn't end very well. So a quick look at the table before we move on to the Championship. Burton do still remain rock bottom on 8 points, currently 8 points away from getting out of the bottom 4. Shrewsbury pick up their first win in the last 5, which pulls them 3 points. Yeah, 3 points over Burton. Cambridge and Leyton Orient make up the bottom 4.
Are we surprised what the bottom 5 are right now? Because I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm not surprised.
And that's no disrespect. It's just they're very poor, and they all have that odd win now and again.
Yeah,
I think Cambridge is the one that can pull themselves out of it, but they're going to start turning draws into wins like they were doing.
Yeah.
And Crawley have turned a bit of a corner.
I am very surprised at Blackpool being where they are, because I thought under Steve Bruce they'd start to climb the table a bit.
Yeah, they push on a bit.
Yeah.
And then Rotherham in 18th as well, nervously now looking over the shoulder at the bottom 4.
Yeah.
Steve Evans came out and said that December's a huge month for you guys, and I don't think he's far wrong with that.
We've got some very difficult games in December. Very difficult games.
Moving to the top of the table, or top end of the table, Lincoln drop out of the top 6 with the defeat, but Barnsley, looking down to Bolton in 9th, are on 26 points with Reading, Lincoln, Barnsley, and Huddersfield all on 26 points. And then 4th, Birmingham dropped down after a couple of draws and a defeat, but they've got games in hand. 14
Makes
games.
it quite
Stockport
tasty, doesn't it? If you're looking at it as like a playoff situation, that could go really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Stockport in 3rd, Wrexham in 2nd, and Wickham.
Wow.
About as consistent as you can get. And well deserved that top spot at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Lovely stuff. We shall move on to the Championship now. Jake, you guys played early on Saturday.
We did. It was weird. I don't like it. I don't like early kickoffs. They do me head in. They absolutely do me head in because they throw me Saturday off. They proper throw me Saturday off. And
your routine's no longer there then, is it?
Yeah, you're going to spend the time with family and
yeah, but you know what Sky's like? It's all about the fans.
We got next Sunday, we got Derby. So we don't play on Saturday, so I'm going to get thrown for a loop again. But
in this one, mate, it went 1-0 down, brought it back to 1-1. 2 points dropped.
2 point drop.
Gained.
2 point drop. We were a lot better than Cardiff. Cardiff were... It was the one where we played some really lovely football, and Danny Rowell at the end of the game said it's a good performance, but we're just not clinical enough. And he's right, we're not. Our biggest problem, and it's been our biggest problem for the longest time. I think I've been on this show multiple times and gone, we have chances, but we just don't bury them. Ugbo had a goal in the back of the net, and we're thinking, great, he finally got that monkey off his back. He got a goal, but it was offside. Josh Windass put one over the bar, which he should have done a bit better with. And the goal we actually conceded, it's just poor marking at the back in terms of when it actually comes in. It's a good save by the keeper initially, but I hate modern day goalkeeping. I cannot stand parrying goalkeepers. It does my head in. Catch it, safe, done. And the punching lock, it done me head in. But he parries it, we don't handle the clearance that well, and they get it back in. 2 minutes later, though, we're back in it. And the thing is, that 2 minute later bit was ideal because we started to look good. It's a brilliant ball into the back post. Bernard gets it on the end of it, makes it 1-1. And you're thinking, can we push on a little bit? And it just didn't really have that in the second half. We tried, we huffed and puffed. They had some little chances, but a point for them would have been fantastic because that's a bit of a rot. They've not had a great season. They still got the caretaker manager in charge. It looks like he may get the permanent job. He was out in Malaysia during the international break. For us, a lot of our fan base are getting annoyed that we spent all this money on Ugbo and he's not firing. Where'd the Ugbo from last season? Like, this is the first game we've had it where we've played 2 up top and it worked really well. And you look at the results we've got coming up, it was this one, Hull, Derby, Preston, all games in and around us. And you're thinking they're some winnable games. They're what you want to be taking the 3 point from, this one. And to think, will we ever get a penalty? Not in my lifetime. I don't think it's ever going to happen again. We had about 4 or 5 shouts of handball. There was a couple that we didn't get. And I think the issue is,
big shouts, solid shouts, or soft?
One was a solid shout. One was a very solid shout, but just wasn't given. But I think the thing is, the performance is there, and the performance is doing well. But there's a lot of our fan base who were looking at what we did last season and possibly going, right, we're going to be here or thereabouts. And I think a lot wanted to have like a bit of a playoff push, considering what we did last season. And I've literally said, give me a boring mid-table.
I think a playoff push is overreaching in it. I mean, last season you were literally written off, and you were playing basically free football because there was no expectation. There was no pressure really, because you basically written the season off, and we're expecting to play League One football this season. So being able to play freely, it's like when a team gets that dreaded R next to the name, and then they end up going on a winning run, and people say, well, where were that before we got relegated? I think you kind of had that mentality where we're down anyway. We got
the pressure.
Sod it. Let's just chuck everything at it. And I don't think you can kind of do that gun-ho kind of football under Danny Röhl from the start of the season. So I think expecting something similar this season with the run that you had under him last season, I think could be probably overstretching. And you were spot on, I think, wanting a boring nothing season where you finish mid-table and build for next season.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, you say build for next season, our issue is always going to be ownership. Like we got the HMRC monkey off our back. We were embargoed again because we didn't pay it on time, and it only takes a while before they start going, right, we're going to cut on that. You're going to get a point deduction now because you've done it twice in 2 seasons. Yeah. We all know what they're like.
Mark's asked January transfers for Wednesday. Who would you like in? Are you embargoed?
We're not embargoed. We're off. Our embargo's gone, so we can actually bring players in. Danny Röhl's hinted at a Premier League striker on loan, and I wouldn't mind another defender and maybe another winger, because if we can add that, will be good. But it all depends on what we can realistically do. Last season, we got very lucky with what we managed to bring in. But the reason people weren't giving up players, they saw what position we were in, and players didn't want to come. If we can be mid-table near January, we could have that little bit of a player to go, I'll go there. It gives them a bit more of an incentive. And what we're missing, what we actually are missing, we are missing a Pervader-style player. So we can get the fans off the seats. And the atmosphere at the minute is poor. But the atmosphere at the minute is poor at the minute because it's so expensive. It is so expensive. It's freezing cold, and it was on Guy.
Yeah,
everyone's just going to stay at home. And I think the thing for me is Danny just got to keep doing what we're doing, and we are a very inconsistent team. You've seen that with everything. Pretty much. It's like we've got the situation where our biggest problem, we conceded 25 goals this season. And that's a lot already. But we're not as bad as everybody else in Championship. Yeah. And the thing is, I think for that's where this season, it gives you a bit more hope and a bit more try and guile. And if we can go on a run, because you see how tight the Championship is, we'll see it later. You go on a run, you can be in that playoff position, but you've got to keep it consistent. And there isn't many consistent teams in the entire the Football League. We said the most consistent at the minute is Wycombe. And I would have loved 3 point, but it felt like 2 point drop. So afterwards, I felt a bit deflated. But then when I think about it, if you think about after the international break, getting a point after the Derby loss, probably a good thing. Keeps us going again, moves us on to the week, and I just pray we can do something at Hull.
Yeah, a point's a point, mate.
Exactly.
I'm just having a chuckle because ATID's popped a couple of comments in, and I don't think he's a fan of the French.
Real?
He's in Monaco.
Missed you last week, ATID. Missed you. Ian, Championship, mate. Any games that, in fact, I'll take Plymouth. ATID's in, and talking while he's in the south of France. So get your comment in, ATID. Talk us through this game. I watched the highlights, and the bizarre thing for me was the goal in the 8th minute. There was like a 10-second delay for the Watford
It was
fans
all,
to
wasn't
actually
it? The
celebrate it.
Watford fans just like, it felt like
What
someone
happened?
had lag on a video
What
game.
happened?
But a great
I didn't
double.
realise it had gone in.
a great brace from Andre Gray, and to score in the 90+6th minute.
Oh, what a goal that was. What a strike that last one was.
Yeah.
That assist, though,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
assist from Gibson was fantastic.
Yeah,
I think
Lolo just said it.
the only thing I didn't like was the into at the end where Andre Gray went, and it was really cringy. It was like, it was a Wazza assist. I'm like, that's your fucking manager. That sounds cringy as though. He's gaffer.
Yeah, but he's guaranteed a start next game now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's true.
ATID said that we sounded like we were absolutely shocking as per, but hey, a point, like Jake just said, a point's a positive.
Point, yeah.
Of course it is.
And-
And Watford have been doing well.
Yeah, they're not a bad team, Watford.
Do you think he's getting all the players to vote for Colleen for challenges on I'm a Celebrity?
Yeah, get our lass on challenges.
They were a
James said at least
fantastic.
they get to celebrate goals. We don't. Yeah, we'll get on to.
There were a
League Two shortly.
fantastic thing. I don't know whether it were on Facebook or Twitter, but there was a picture of about 40 old ladies all in
yeah.
Broadham pants, and it says Wayne's getting some company while Colleen's in the jungle. Oh, that were
HID
hilarious.
said Watford haven't scored more than one goal away all season. Up steps Charity FC. So yeah, they've managed to get a couple of goals, but you've clawed it back. You've pegged them back late
one
on.
goal away all season. Didn't they thrash off 6-2 at home?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they did.
yeah, low.
Yeah, they did.
I'm gonna
Low.
say. I'm gonna say.
It must be that French wine.
I don't read that. Like, I'm pretty sure they absolutely hammered us.
Yeah, did I dream that? Ian, any championship games that you want to touch on, mate?
Yeah, Middlesbrough. Or are they are
Talking
scoring
about a few goals
for-
away from home.
Blooming heck.
Battering Oxford 6-2. Go
They've
for it,
got-
mate. It's all yours.
They got 5 in the last game as well. So it's
Yeah.
11 goals in 2 games. That latte laugh, has he hit a seam of form or what?
Yeah.
He's
Flipping
hit,
heck.
he's hit form, but he's hit form where other clubs will be like, hey, up, January windows
Yeah.
open. I need a striker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Oxford, they've been doing really well after promotion. And it would have been probably Carrick would have probably thought this could be quite difficult, but fair play to Borough. I mean, going forward, they're excellent. And that Tommy Conway, that buy from Bristol City, it
Cracking
turned
buy,
out to
wasn't it?
be inspired because it was a lovely goal that he got. As again, it's in the onion bag. I think Middlesbrough should be looking in terms of playoffs at least.
Yeah.
I think
The form they're in.
I also think they're nowhere near enough credit getting put on Michael Carrick's name for the job
But he's doing a good
there.
job.
Yeah.
Also,
He-
you see, Gibson has given him the chance and given him the time.
He does so,
right?
though.
Because
If you actually look at Gibson is actually very good with managers. He's always
is.
the one to give managers a first try as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And I think the thing is, with Carrick, he loves the club. That's the
Yeah.
first thing.
Yeah, he
He's
does.
a big fan of the club. And I think the other thing you've got with it is that if he's allowed to just do what he's doing and keep on pushing, Gibson will back him because he trusts him.
Yeah.
Gibson's not a bloke to lose trust with a manager quickly. He gives them a chance. And I think the only one he really ever did was when he did Southgate. But Southgate went on to do, well, he did this strange England job thing. It wasn't that good. But I think Oxford, they need to just brush themselves down. Good thing they've got a midweek game so they can get it out of their system and get it out of their system quickly. And that's the big thing.
Well,
I knew
apparently, Villa said that Plymouth could have had Azaz for 1.2 million, and they said no. Oof. That's
ouch.
And ATID also had a bit of a chuckle because his mate got to Blackburn just for the game to be called.
Oh, I was enraged with that because why do you do a pitch inspection at 11 a.m. when the club's
especially when
traveled?
You're playing Pompey? I mean, Pompey, what a trip that is up there to Blackburn.
I know you laughed at your mate ATID, but that's the equivalent of you going all the way to Sunderland and then being told at R2 that your game's off.
Yeah, it should be.
There should be a rule.
Yeah, that any pitch inspection should be done kind of before the fans would have to set off.
Yeah,
and just call it there and then. But then sometimes you need to leave it a little bit later to see if it does give it
maybe
the opportunity
see where the
to
teams are coming from and then go from it.
I can remember one year. I think
it even funny sending him a picture of me in 22 degrees and clear sky.
I remember one year, we went for a Millers game at Accrington, and the players had already done the warm-ups and were back in the changing rooms. It was about 10-3. And then the ref came back, bounced the ball on it, stuck to the floor, he called it off, and all the fans were in the ground.
Madness. The last game that we'll touch on in the Championship has got to be the 7-goal thriller that happened today.
Mental.
Yeah,
absolutely mental.
You never know what's going to happen in the Championship, do you?
I don't think you ever know what's going to happen with Leeds this season. Leeds have gone very, very bipolar. Because 1 minute you think, they're going to absolutely do really well, and then they don't. And the thing is, Swansea has taken most of their chances when they've had them well.
Yeah.
Really well.
It must have been heartbreaking to equalise it 90th minute and then get it snatched away.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, a lot of the league goals they conceded are just really bad defensive mistakes. Not tracking your man, backing off and letting him have the shot. And it's like you can see what Leeds are trying to do and how they're trying to play. But Leeds just have that star power at the minute. And I think Solomon on loan from Spurs has been a really clever little bit of business if they can keep him fit. But to get it when they got it was really good. And considering Sunderland yesterday missed the opportunity to go 2-0 up and then Millwall went up the other end and got it to 1-1. I think it's helped a lot. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know where I see Leeds this season because I still feel like they've got a playoff in them. I don't think they've got a automatic there. Yeah.
They've got the quality to be automatic, but they've also got the tendency of pressing.
I don't know if that's a Farke thing, though. I don't know if it's a Farke thing or Leeds mentality.
Yeah. But I think what Farke should do in the January window is to concentrate on defenders because some of the defending's been really
keeper. Camillier crap.
Yeah, I don't
Camillier
like
is absolute crap.
Like Neil says, though, once Swansea made it 3-3, there's no way they should have allowed Gnonto to score the winner at that point. You shut up shop, don't you? You see the game out, you manage it properly, and I think they've just got a bit excited.
Let's also remember they're very lucky to still have him because he could have gone in the January window.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah.
So a quick look at the.
I will say this before we go. Leeds are not relying on one player like they did last season. Last season it was on Rutter. They relied on Rutter too much. They're now getting goals. And Somerville. Yeah, they're now getting goals all from different areas.
Yeah. So that's a positive for them, isn't it? That if there is a few injuries or anything where they have had injuries at the start of the season and they've still managed to pick up points and results. So yeah, maybe a little bit like Wickham, where they've not really got the star players, but the sum of the full squad is greater than those individual star players, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe so. Yeah.
But yeah, quick look at the table before we move on to League Two. QPR currently remain bottom with Portsmouth in 23rd and Hull City in 22nd, which is
It's looking really bad for
reading
Queen's
for
Park
Jake.
Rangers, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't know what's actually happened for it to go that badly either.
Yeah.
I thought they had a
Yeah.
good window.
Yeah, they did. Cardiff in 21st, Preston in 20th, and Plymouth up in 19th. Oxford started the season well, but they've started to realise how difficult the Championship is and slipped down to 18th. Coventry started to turn their early poor season form around, which
Like the
Still
other
idiot.
way,
That's still
would
idiot
happen.
sacking Mark Robbins.
yeah.
Happy with 15th, Jake? Got to be.
I'll take it. I've got to be, considering where we were last season. I think we just need consistency. Look at that run of form. There's not enough green. It's very far. It goes.
Well, there's no two results same, is there?
Yeah, we need to get consistent.
Yeah.
If we can get consistent, but then again, if you actually look from about where Cardiff is, not really Cardiff, Oxford and Coventry, it's all like that. The further you go up, you'll see how
everyone's
inconsistent
beating
the league is.
everybody, aren't they?
Yeah,
I mean, Bristol City, similar
Yeah.
form to yourselves. Yeah, everyone's beating everyone, which makes it a really good division to watch.
Oh, yeah, it
definitely.
does.
Top six, this is where consistency does start to show a little bit.
Yeah,
We've got West Brom in 6th, Middlesbrough in 5th, Burnley in 4th, Sheffield United in 3rd, Sunderland 4 draws on the bounce, which has meant that they've slipped down to 2nd, and the gap that they had at the top has now disappeared.
Can I ask your lads' thoughts on the Sheffield United red card?
Absolutely deserved. Completely deserved.
I mean, we'll jump back to Coventry 2, Sheffield United 2. He's been played, hasn't he, by Bassett? I think the little wing.
He knows exactly what he was doing as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And he apparently was doing it all game. Now, if you're a Sheffield United player and if you're a Sheffield United manager, everybody knows this is what Coventry do. Coventry are the biggest wind-up merchants going in terms of some of their players in the past. They really are the biggest wind-up merchants, and you could tell that he knew what he was doing. And all he did, like literally, all he did was just tap him on the neck.
Yeah.
He didn't. It wasn't violent. It was just like, unlucky, mate. Get back.
Yeah.
It's like a player going past and smacking him on the arse, kind of thing. For him to then
He
get
must have
up,
said something for the reaction, though.
Yeah.
He's got to have said something to get that
for him
sort of
to
reaction
get up
from
and
him.
then Wild at the end go, oh, he's not hit his face. Well, no, he hasn't, but he's hit his neck.
Yeah, ultimately he's raised his hands, which is a red card.
The rules are you don't go to punch someone. And he
I went
did
to
make
punch
a
him
meal
back
out.
this.
He did make a meal out of it, but what else did they meant to do?
Yeah, that's
And
it. I
also
think-
the little wink at the end.
The wink at the end.
Coventry players. Yeah.
Yeah, deserve red card, I think. But yeah, Sheffield United looking in decent shape, to be fair,
Yeah.
at this stage of the season. On to League Two now. Before we do, Neil said, where's it gone? There we are. Deserve red card, but shithousery at the highest level by the Coventry player.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think shithousery is lost in the game these days, and I love it. I
Yeah, we
hate it
need
when it
more.
happens to us, but I love it when you see it on game because it's a lost art. It's a dying art, and there was some player back in the day who just you knew you weren't buying them for how a player worked because they were normally naff. You were buying them to be a wind-up merchant. That was it.
Yeah, and to be fair, there were a bit of shithousery in this game. To be fair, and I'm surprised that we got to the 96th minute still with a full complement of players. I don't know if you've seen the challenge from Molyneux on the Carlisle winger.
Lucky.
Yeah, I think it's more of a trip, but I think he is controlled in the slide. I think he knows what he's doing, but I've seen reds given for similar. But you see the Carlisle player is kind of laughing, so I'm thinking that they've probably been in Molyneux's ear, and I think Molyneux's lost his head a little bit because a few players come around him and tried to calm him down, and you can see in the highlights he's chirping up. So I think something must have been getting said, or like little niggly kind of clips and fouls and stuff to prevent him from getting into his flow. And I think he's just Yeah, he's lost his head. So I think, yeah, I'm all for shithousery. I love it.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, it's starting to be a worrying trend. I don't want to kind of be losing my mind over it. I think we've 6 unbeaten, 3 wins, 3 draws. But I think
Is it a little bit for you because it's coming to the busy end of the season? This consistency of draws and wins need to become wins more than anything because how many games you're going to have.
It's the lack of goals that we've got and the lack of creativity in the midfield at the minute, which is worrying me slightly, because I think if you're going to be top 3, you need to have that. And I think we've got the squad. I think we have got the capability of doing it, but it's just something's not quite right and it's not quite clicking.
Yeah.
And I remember having a conversation with Ian. Was it the last game that you went to, Ian?
Yeah, last weekend.
Yeah. I think we've lost or dropped 9 points at home against teams that we shouldn't have. We outplayed Notts County for a vast majority of the game. They had the first 30-35 minutes that could have been out of sight. But for the remainder of the game, I felt we could have won it. Same at Salford. I don't think Salford really offered much. Same against Crewe at home. We got beat by Bromley 1-0 where we dominated the game. And that for me is 9
Why is it always when a team
season.
dominates a game, you lose?
Yeah,
it's always the case, isn't it?
Yeah, it's frustrating. And this was another one where, watching the extended highlights last night, Carlisle looked dominant in the first half. They look like they were putting us under pressure. And this is a team that's at the bottom of the table. And every team can beat every team. You've got to play the 11 that's in front of you. But if we've got any sort of real aspirations of getting top 3, or like Grant McCann still maintains it's the top spot that he's wanting, we've got to be putting these teams to bed at home or away.
You got to take them to the sword. Yeah,
and I don't want to be too critical because a point at Carlisle is a good point. We've not won there in 12 years, I think it is. So it's a place that we're never particularly good at. But at the same time, we've got to be putting the ball in the back of the net. We've got to. I think we're overplaying it when we get into the final third.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you agree with that, Ian, from what you saw last week, where there's opportunities to take a shot on, and they're looking for that extra pass.
I think, especially in the second half against Salford, I think Rovers were almost trying to walk the ball in.
Yeah.
You know, they were looking for the perfect. Yeah. I mean, they got balls on the edge of the box where the players were looking to pass rather than shoot, get an effort to get across. I mean, the players, don't get me wrong, Rovers play some superb football, but sometimes you've got to be more direct.
Sometimes you overwork it. It's too many touches. It could be in the ball quick. Shout out, like you said on Twitter, Dan, though, Carlisle groundmen and any ground team that got their pitch going and working, because the weather at the weekend was horrible.
Yeah, horrid weather last week. Bailey's come in the chat, a Rovers fan. Frustrating at the minute watching us. Very good until the final third, and then decision making's letting us down. Yeah, and that's basically what our season is at the minute. But I think at this point of the season, last year we were worried about being in the National League. This season we're in the top 3 in the mix, and Bailey said Carlisle won't be anywhere near the bottom 2 come the end of the season if they play like that. They just need to give Williamson time to get his own players in. Yeah, completely agree. They're an improving team.
I hope so, because I've got a lot of time for Carlisle, because they're up there in the northwest, miles away from anybody, and they've always been a consistent sort of like EFL side, and I would like to see them go back down to the National League, because I think they're a good outfit.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So yeah, frustrating day at the office. We're going to miss Jay McGrath in the FA Cup. Very good defender, performing really well this season.
It's just a one match. At least it's not a league game.
Yeah, that's it.
True.
And for me, I've got no qualms or no arguments on the 2 yellows. I thought he's kind of bodied him for the first one, which it's a soft yellow, but again, second one with definite yellow. You could argue the first one might not have been, but I've seen plenty of yellows given for it, especially because it looked like if he'd not bodied him, the lad had beat him. So, yeah, not too many arguments with a red card. But yeah, similar to Jake, a point's a point. You've got to take them, and it's a step in the right direction. We just need to start turning these draws into wins for me. Lovely stuff. Right, I will just quickly catch up with the comments. We've got Newport and Notts County fans in the chat. James came in earlier and said, "Oh no, League Two time." Dale, I believe you're Notts County. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's County. Frustrating game for us, mainly one-way traffic. Just didn't have any end product. Missing Crowley and co onto Walsall away for us next weekend's FA Cup at Peterborough. And did see it's 37 on Tuesday. Wow.
Yeah, McGoldrick, yeah.
And he's also said that no end product. The Newport keeper made some decent saves.
That is a fantastic point for Newport. That is fantastic.
It's a great point.
Yeah. James said goal is bipolar. One game is amazing, one game is crap.
Yeah, like most League Two keepers, really.
Yeah. But yeah, looking at the stats, I mean, 27 shots, 7 on target, 59% possession. You've got to be happy, James, with a point at Notts County, surely. I think I'd be happy with point there. They're a decent team and they're difficult to beat.
Think of it as a point gained and not a point lost.
Yeah,
definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly that. Jake, any League Two game tickle your fancy, mate?
Yes, Gillingham, the Gillingham game.
Gills.
Yeah, Harrogate.
Where did that come from? Harrogate just seem to be that team at the minute that not meant to win at certain places and then do. And it's nice to see because I don't think they're that kind of team where they are bottom half League Two, but they're not enough to go any further. And they always flirt with like having failed. But that was a cracking win. And you look at the stats, they actually look like they deserved it. Yeah, didn't get it on possession, but they took their chances. And if you can start taking chances, especially when you go behind to start off with, against the Gill team that is normally very good, but they have, I don't know, Gills have gone really bipolar.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bump, haven't they? I mean, I thought they turned it around. I think they won last week.
Though, because they got a very itchy finger trigger chairman.
Yeah.
Could they do another sacking and it'd be like you made the wrong decision again? Where Harrogate Town know what they are and where they are. So they just, whatever happens. Yeah. But it's a cracking result.
And it was a cracking strike for the winning goal as well.
Oh, it really was, wasn't it?
Good player, Josh March. Really good player.
Keeper wasn't stopping that.
No.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bradford, Neil's in the chat, but your game was postponed, so a relatively quiet weekend for you. Salford got postponed as well. Fleetwood. Jonathan wasn't too happy. Set off towards Fleetwood, didn't he? But luckily didn't get too far before the game was called off. So yeah, a few games fell foul to the weather. A really decent encounter lined up tomorrow. Port Vale against Crewe, two teams doing exceptionally well. So yeah, looking forward to that. I think a draw would probably be the best result for Donny in that one. Any games for you, Ian, in League Two?
Yes, Swindon 2, Morecambe 3.
It was
Ian Holloway's got them. Ian Holloway's got the mother of all jobs to turn Swindon round.
He has. This was the game of the league, though. 5 goals.
Yeah. Swindon came back well from 2 goals down. I mean, give them a bit of credit for that, but give Morecambe more credit for getting a winning goal. I mean, Morecambe have been really poor this season, and to turn that round and win at Swindon, and they've got everything in place there. They've got the stadium, the fan base, everything, and it's just not happening, is it, at Swindon? I thought Ian Holloway coming in might have turned them round a little bit, but I don't know. He's got a hell of a job there.
I think the thing is, Morecambe got the thing at the minute where wins help with what's going on with the club, because if you actually look at what's going on with Morecambe, it doesn't sound each week. It seems like they're on the verge of going bust.
It's a car crash, isn't it? It's a real.
And the problem is, and I say it every single time, I thought financial fair play was meant to stop teams going bust. That was the reason it was brought in. I think we've had more teams go bust than we have actually teams be able to carry on.
Yeah.
And
it's madness, isn't it?
the thing is, if you look at what they're trying to do now with any takeover, a owner's got to show that they've got 2 to 3 years worth of cash to support the club.
Yeah.
That is why the Sheffield United takeover not gone through yet, even though it's 105 million. I think that's the right idea going forward because you want to show what you can do. It's like if we buy a house, if all three of us are buying a house, we have to show monthly income each month and show that there's something coming in. Why do football owners only have to go, here's all the cash I got to buy you, but then not show anything else? And I think Morecambe players have got to do what Reading are doing, and they are doing. Concentrate on what the football side of it. We can't do anything else. Yeah. And Reading, Morecambe, these are teams where there isn't much other choices around you if you're going to support teams. Yeah. They are the lifeblood of that area. And I don't want to see another Bury happen with Morecambe because I can see it.
No.
The writing is on the wall, and I don't want to see it.
I think this football regulator, this independent football regulator, should be rushed in as quickly as humanly possible.
It should, but if that happens, I need new ownership ASAP. He's not going to pass it.
Yeah.
No. Bailey said about Swindon, trouble off the pitch is harming them on it, and has done since the loss to Vale in the playoffs. Can't see Holloway seeing out the season. And Dale has said that Swindon remind him of Notts when they got relegated into National League. Looks like they're sleepwalking into the National League, and it took them 4 years to get back up. And a team of Swindon size should not be dropping down into National League, really, should they?
No.
The thing is, also said in regards to Salford, their game got called off. So credit to Salford covering the coach travel for the Bromley fans when that's rearranged. Well done.
There you go.
Missed your soundboard, Jake. Okay, we're hurtling towards the hour mark. We've still got the Fantasy EFL to go through as well. So we'll have a quick look at the table. Carlisle currently sit bottom after Morecambe winning their game over Swindon.
All three are on 13 points.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's anybody's real, well, wooden spoon, isn't it? Nobody wants it. But it's anybody's game to.
If anybody wants to take any solace, look at what Donny and Wente did last season. Go on a run, lads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly that. Bromley teetering just above it as well on 16 points, with Tranmere there on 17, along with Colchester.
I am still surprised to see Colchester down there. I thought they would have kicked on a little bit more.
Yeah, me too. Moving towards the top end of the table, we've got Gillingham, expecting them to be much higher than what they currently are, but hits a bit of a sticky patch in form. Bradford as well, fully expect them to be in the top 7 come the end of the season.
Barrow's form's gone down the toilet as well after a good start.
Yeah, it has. Chesterfield, MK, Crewe, and Notts County make up the playoffs, but it's extremely tight. The picture up at the top of the table. Donny, Walsall, Port Vale in 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Only 4 points separating them, but with the weather and
why you need to be winning games.
I mean, that's the only worry that I've got looking at that table there. That we've had 17 games. You've got Crewe on 15, Walsall on 15. If they pick points up on those, it means that we're playing catch up a little bit, which is what it is. Yeah. I'm sure we'll
just think if Vale beat Crewe tomorrow night, they'll have a 6-point gap.
Yeah.
And yet, alternatively, if Crewe beat Port Vale, Crewe go into 2nd.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tight.
That's how important it is.
Yeah.
It'll be a draw.
I was going to say, make for a great game until it goes to 0-0.
So,
right, where's your Max in this? Because I've got something on the soundboard. Where is he?
He's currently 25th.
Right, 25th. Well, Max, this is for you, and you're not going to like who it is.
It just gets harder and harder. It just keeps getting harder.
I hope he's watching. But it looks like we've got a new player in the table, and the team name is absolutely fantastic. Into your nan.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Must be Wayne Rooney.
I'm going to say they're Plymouth fan. Is it ATID?
But yeah, some good scores in game week 16. 79 is the highest so far. If you see your name on the screen, I'd say
I've
commiserations
had
because we're at
another
the wrong
mare.
end of the table at the minute.
I've
Yeah,
had another mare.
Ian, you've had a bit of a rough, and I'm now 8 points behind you. I think
Yeah,
I've got a
really.
couple of players midweek as well because it were a double
Yeah,
game
so have
week.
I. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, little bits of movement here and there. Liam Martin with the best score of the weekend with 89 points, and that puts 4 players above 1,000 points. But Bailey,
That was
you're
amazing.
absolutely smashing it still, mate. He's annoyed at fantasy this week. Had Sirkin, who didn't play and couldn't get signal at Brunton Park until after.
Oh, unlucky.
I've got Sirkin as well, so I'm hoping that he plays midweek. Neil's son is currently in 8th with Slot My Tip in Diaz.
Well done.
What a team,
I like
mate.
that. How we missed that one?
Some great team names, love it. But yeah, Bailey currently leading the way on 1,159 points for the season. Lovely stuff. Right. So to round it off, Jake, any final words, mate?
Yeah, congratulations to Adam and Lee getting to even nominated for that, and then Lee for getting third. I think it's well done. It just gives us all a little bit of like, you've got small channels, you can still do these things and go and meet the people. The Wednesday week on the podcast one did really well. Really good to see them do it. The top lads, Stevie's reaction to it was fantastic when they won. You wouldn't expect anything else from that man.
No.
And by the sounds of it, they had very sore heads in the morning.
It don't surprise me with Steve. He can knock some back in.
I think it goes without saying. That's got to go to Beastie, who last year, as you're not in the Wednesday fan base, lost his battle with cancer, big part of the Wednesday week. And his daughter's still flying the flag for Wednesday in his honour because she's amazing, Holly. And it just shows that football means a lot to people. And some of these awards, some people get the awards and it don't mean much. But I think for the Wednesday week lads and lasses, it meant a lot because it was difficult. It was a difficult time for them.
Yeah, well done to all the people that are connected to us in some way, shape, or form. Neil said, well chuffed for Lee getting bronze on Thursday. Yeah,
he was just happy you got to go to Spurs Stadium again.
Yeah, that's it. But I think even with Adam getting to the final, you're in the top 10 of the country. So yeah, massive congratulations to everybody who was nominated for an award.
It's also, if you look at Adam and Lee,
Adam's content, especially his non-league content, is absolutely exceptional.
Yeah. If you look at both of them, of how quickly both grown as well. I think Adam got the same trajectory that Lee got. They both got to 1,000 subs so fast. Like me and you, Dan, have done this for so long, and I don't think we've seen people go that quick in a long time.
No. Well deserved. I think
content beat for itself.
Fantastic. Yeah, lovely stuff. Ian, any final words, mate?
Got a lot off my chest. A good therapy session as per usual. Yeah. Next week I'll be a lot happier because we haven't got a game, so we can't lose.
When you're back on it in terms of the Rotherham, I'm expecting a Evans out banner behind your head, nicking one of your missus' bed sheets.
Painted across the wall in the bedroom.
Yeah, an LED one. Yeah. Yeah. True enough.
But
yeah, I enjoyed it.
That's what the show's about, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
Lovely stuff. So I'm glad you managed to get a lot off your chest. I'm glad that you're looking forward to a week where you won't be frustrated by your club. I'm looking forward to next week. Well, I say I'm looking forward to next week. I'm nervously looking forward to next week. It's certainly a banana skin.
It's a banana skin.
Yeah, and I will be doing a live watch along for that. So if you guys are not doing anything, you're more than welcome to hop on and watch the game with me and say a few words.
They're a lot of fun, Dan. They are a lot of fun.
When is it the Kettering game? Is it Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be.
Yeah. So there's no 72 review next week, but there will be a live watch along for the Donny Kettering game.
Is that our 12 kickoff?
I think it's 12. So
I've got Wednesday derby.
Yeah,
I'll have 12, you on in the corner.
12 p.m. Sunday is that.
Because I'm doing. I think I'm doing derby watch along.
Oh, there we go.
Go watch Dan.
we'll just enjoy whatever game you want to watch. But yeah, I've enjoyed today's episode. The chat's been pretty busy as always. So thank you all for enjoying the show, getting involved. It is as much for you as it is for us to hopefully start our week off on a better note than what the weekend's left it in.
And remember, if we want ATID back, we have to pay the ransom to French people. So if you want to pay it, do so at your own cost. It's your
They
entire
could send it back on a rubber dinghy, couldn't they, from French Shores?
You'll get me shut down, Ian. You can't say that. I think on that note, we end it before we get shut down. If you've enjoyed this one, stick a big thumbs up on it. If you're watching throughout the week, comments in the section down below. Subscribe to all three of us if you haven't already. Oh dear. We will see you next Sunday for the live watch along. Take care of yourselves.